Win a Pageant, episode 35. If you're serious about winning your pageant, send me an email at alycia@winapageant.com to schedule an interview to see if you qualify for my VIP coaching program. Hey girl, welcome to another episode of Win a Pageant podcast. I am your coach, Alycia Darby, and in this episode, I'm going to talk you through the different elements of the comprehensive pageant preparation plan. Try to say that 10 times fast. Okay, the comprehensive pageant prep plan. This is what's included. There are 4 phases. First, foundation, then communication, then representation, and implementation. So I'm going to break each of these down. There are a total of 10 steps, and they're broken into each one of these phases. So let's begin with foundation. The first stage that I walk each of my clients through is understanding you. What are your strengths? What are your desires? What do you value? When you understand this as a foundational background, you're not going to get hung up on interview questions or an onstage question or your paperwork or who you really are, or you're just not going to get hung up because you're going to truly know each of these things about you. One of my biggest frustrations is when a woman is asked to name, 3 things that are great about her, 3 strengths, and she struggles. You should not struggle. You really ought to know what your strengths are. You need to know what you want, and you need to know your value. You really want to get to know who you are. So once you discover who you are, the next step is your purpose. So what is your legacy, and what's the greater impact that you want to have on the world? And then the third, of course, is your goal. So when you decide your legacy and your impact, you want to give it a concrete goal. We usually talk about numbers, dollars, and percents. Okay, so what's that look like in terms of purpose? You want to look at platform development. And yes, even Miss USA contestants must have a platform, because I'm telling you, it's going to allow your process to be so much more valued because you've got something to stand on. That's your platform. Your partnerships, so who might you work with, and then understanding your network. In the Art of Pageantry, we've got guides for each one of these, so we make it really easy on you to kind of find your platform, your partners, and your network. So you've got who you are, you've got your purpose, and then finally you break down your goals. So what are the numbers, dollars, and percents that you can associate with your purpose? How can you raise more dollars for a cause? How can you save more lives? How can you increase the percent of people that are accessing certain resources? Okay, that's essentially the breakdown of the area of foundation. Now, communication is next. Once you know all those things, how do you get it out? Well, the first thing that we do is paperwork. And you have access to some of this, including your resume and fact sheet. We talk about how you can really break this down so it is easy for other people to understand you. Communication is, yes, partially the way in which you talk and how you understand you, but it's more than anything the way in which others understand you. So being able to communicate that is absolutely vital. Public speaking is another huge, huge element of communication. Interviewing and onstage questions are important. Onstage question is an important part of pageantry. Number 6 is your presence. Believe it or not, that is also communication. That's your body language. So onstage modeling and events and how are you presenting yourself, okay? All of these 3 things are elements of communication. And this is a part of the comprehensive pageant plan, which we follow with the Art of Pageantry. The next is representation. So the way in which you brand yourself with your wardrobe shows other people what you represent. So this comes back to your values and it comes back to your desires. Really branding yourself is super important in understanding your wardrobe. Photographs. You want your photographs to be authentically you. It can't be somebody other than you. The judges do not want to look at a photograph and then the woman who walks in looks completely different. You want to have a photographer that captures your essence, and you've got to be prepared to show up for that photographer so that any photographer should be able to take your images and they will look authentically like you. Marketing. The third area of representation is how you market yourself. Now, a lot of pageant women like to tell themselves the lie or believe the lie that they do not need to market themselves. But believe it or not, social media and how many tickets you sell, the network that you have, and what events you attend versus don't attend is all a part of marketing. These are vital to your pageant preparation and, of course, your pageant success. So the final is implementation. Now this is, believe it or not, the smallest, shortest, as far as time it goes, phase of this pageant prep plan. This includes pageant week mindset. So getting your mind straight, getting it tight so that you're in a place where you can, in fact, compete. The leadership of your team. Knowing that you are responsible for leading your makeup artist. You're responsible for leading your hair artist, stylist. You're responsible for leading those that are in the audience watching you. You're responsible for leading the people who are your partners of your platform. You're responsible even for leading your fellow contestants and your directors and the stagehands during the pageant week. You've got to take ownership of the leadership, and we talk about that in The Art of Pageantry. Also, your consistency. You always got to remain consistent across all stages of competition, from sun up to sundown, whether you're on stage or off stage. Consistency is huge. And congruency. Congruency means that what you say and what you do are the same. They're congruent. So that's the same as like your integrity. That is really, really important, and it can absolutely make or break you if other people notice you're incongruent, and if you feel incongruent. Really makes a big difference. The reason I think it's so important for you to have an understanding of this comprehensive pageant preparation plan is because I don't want you to think it's going to be easier than it looks, because it never is. It's far, far more difficult, especially for the winners. You know, the winners that are the absolute best have been trained by the best, and they've put so much time and effort in it that it actually looks easy. That's why a lot of people think that winning a pageant is easy, but you and I know that that is not true, right? So I wanted you to kind of be able to timeline this out for you so that you can work on each of these areas of preparation with plenty of time for your pageant. For my VIP clients, I write a custom curriculum for them. So how we even begin is I set out a whole plan for their pageant preparation so that they're not feeling behind, so that they know what to expect and they can stay on top of things. And that, my dear, is how you win a pageant. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Hey there, I'm Alycia Darby, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching that last video. If you totally loved it and got something from it, would you just click subscribe right here to subscribe to our YouTube channel? Hey, I am here for you, and I've got so many more trainings and videos for you. In fact, this one would be a really great one to watch next. Or if that topic doesn't interest you, then try this one. It's my most recent video training. So I think both of these would be really great for you. Thank you again so much for subscribing. I am honored to be your coach. I'll see you again soon.